I'm Quentin.
And I'm Robyn.
And this is our little baby, Zuko. We live on a farm in New Zealand. And one day we got home and we heard a little lamb crying out. So we went to investigate and we saw poor Zuko alone in the paddock, separated from all the mother sheep.
So we went and we let him through the fence and we wanted to see if he would reunite with his mum. And it was so heartbreaking. None of the sheep would accept him. They kept headbutting him, and whenever he tried to drink milk from any of them, they just kept rejecting him. And this went on for hours, and he eventually just got so weak. He went and he lied in a ditch, and that's when we were like, we have to step in. There's no way we're going to just watch this happen.
Of course.
So we went to the store, we got colostrum because he was just born and it's very important for them to get that. And we brought him inside, made him warm, wrapped the towel around him, and we tried to feed him.
And we set an alarm every 2 hours. We would give him a feed. Even through the night, we'd wake up every 2 hours. We slept with him on the bed with us to make sure he was warm and comfortable. And all through the night, he'd cry out and make little noises. But whenever we touched him, he'd calm down. But he was so weak at the start, he couldn't stand on his own feet. And so I had to literally hold him up while Robyn had to essentially force feed him because he wouldn't drink on his own.
It was really sad, but we tried not to get our hopes up, but because he was very, very weak, and we know that lambs tend to not survive, but we just didn't want to give up. We wanted to keep trying and give him the best possible shot that he could. After the first night, that morning, he had a little bit of energy and he looked like he was going to do really well. And then later that day, he completely had a crash and he wouldn't eat and he couldn't walk and he kept falling over and stuff. So we just kept persisting, kept feeding him, giving him electrolytes, whatever we could.
Yeah, and a vet came to look at him and they said that, don't get your hopes up. He may not make it because when a lamb is abandoned by its mother when it's only a day old, it's very rare that they survive. But we persisted. And within about 2-3 days, he really perked up and he had a lot of life in him again.
You could see his little personality coming through.
And
He'd run around the house and he'd jump up and you'd call him and he'd run to you, and he was just this little burst of energy running through the house. He was so excited, and we'd put diapers on him so we could keep him inside. And he was just so cute, so full of love.
And he attached to us so quickly because we were giving him milk. He associated us. I think he believed that we were his parents. So he's very affectionate, always very sweet, and always wants to be with us. Follows us at our feet. And because of the way he fought at the early stages of his life, we decided to call him Zuko. Because our favorite TV show, Avatar: The Last Airbender, the character Zuko is he's a real fighter. He's got a lot of passion, a lot of fire within him, just like little Zuko here.
So after a week and stuff, he was so healthy. He loved getting fed. Honestly, whenever he would know when his milk is being made on the stove. He could hear it sizzling, and then he'd be like, "Yep, it's feeding time."
He gets really
so
excited,
and he would kind of shake his booty and his tail, and he'd run to you, and then you'd feed him, and he'd get so excited. And it was so amazing watching how he just transformed from nearly being on the brink of death to this amazing, full of light and energy little man with this great personality. And he thinks he owns the show.
He does.
He jumps on the couch, he jumps from table to table, he jumps on the bed, and he just thinks he owns the house. This is his house, and he knows it.
It's so fun though when nighttime comes and it's time to go to bed, he just jumps straight up onto the bed and he finds a spot and he usually just nuzzles up in a little loaf between us and puts his face on our shoulders, and he's very, very sweet and very cuddly.
And so we fed him for months and months until we weaned him off of milk. And I work at an after school care centre, and so I would take him with me to go see the kids, and he loves it. He loves all the affection, the kids love it, and so he's used to travelling in the car. He's so calm. He either watches with his head out the window and just looks at everything, or he just chills in the back seat. He doesn't make a sound. He's so relaxed.
He's very relaxed. He also comes with me to work. I do a lot of gardening, and when I go do work at people's farms, he's always with me, and he comes and he follows me at my feet. I'll walk back and forth with the wheelbarrow, and he's constantly just right on my heels. And he really loves, just as long as he's with us, he's happy and he's comfortable.
Very cute. So we eventually trained him to walk on a leash because I felt like, honestly, I know how people have dogs and stuff, but that's what he is to us. That's his personality. Like, that's how he's been raised. So I would put a leash on him and we'd go for walks at the river, and normally lambs are very afraid of dogs, but he doesn't care. He probably thinks he's a dog. So he just stands there and like lets them sniff him, and then he kind of walks to sniff them, and then he moves on his way. And so he's very good. He walks on the leash. A few weekends ago, we took him to a local festival in Palmerston North, and he was the main event.
He really draws in a crowd. People cannot believe that there's a little lamb on a leash, and they all want to come and give him a cuddle and take a photo, and he obliges very easily.
He was even in a local newspaper because of Zuko's famous now. So his space in the community. And yeah, he's just so cute.
He's got a great personality. He's very relaxed with people and with other dogs, as we said, and with other animals, such as cows and goats. He's very confident in himself, and he's never afraid to go right up and sniff another animal face to face.
He has a big brother named Morty. We got Morty from the SPCA.
Yeah, our kitten.
And he absolutely loves Zuko. But Zuko doesn't realize just how big he is. So whenever Morty sees him, he kind of walks up between him and rubs between his legs. But then Zuko wants to play, so he jumps up and he gets all like intense because he wants to play with Morty. But then Morty gets a little bit of a fright.
Morty gets a big fright because of Zuko's mass. If he is to accidentally step on Morty, it's game over. So Morty's a bit cautious around it, but he definitely has a lot of love for him. When
we first got him, you could see Morty understood that he was a little baby and there was something wrong with him. So whenever he'd lie on the bed, Morty would climb on the bed to kind of watch to see if he's okay and what's going on. And like, he definitely loves Zuko a lot.
And even though Zuko can be a bit abrasive around Morty has not even once tried to claw him or attack him. He is extremely patient and tolerant with Zuko, and it's really beautiful, their little relationship. And nowadays, Zuko spends the days in the paddock, and because he's eating just grass. And at night, especially if it's raining, we'll bring him inside, and he's got a big container full of grass, and he eats in the house, and he has hay, and he drinks his water in here, and he loves being around inside. But the other sheep from the paddock were recently taken away. They've gone to greener pastures. So Zuko was alone in the paddock for a couple of weeks, and it really broke our hearts to see such a flock animal alone. So we got him a new best friend, Rosie. She's a little black sheep, and they're getting on really well so far. Zuko's really excited to have a friend in the paddock. I still don't think he realizes that he's a sheep though, because whenever he meets other sheep are very keen to sniff him and meet him, and he just walks away and he follows us, and he doesn't even realize what's going on.
Yeah. But yeah, this is Zuko and a little baby, and there's no way we'll ever eat lamb again. Like, no. I know people think of lamb and they think food, but honestly, once you give them a shot, they make the most amazing loyal pets. They've got so much love to give to you. They're so loyal, and like their whole world revolves around you. So like, we don't even need to put him on a leash. He just follows us.
He would never walk away from us.
He thinks we're his mum.
Yeah.
He's just so cute.